Welcome friends, welcome back into the Palace of Power. It's time for another Power Prediction Show where we give you the chance to win an iPhone 13 or a trip to the UK to take an EPL game in for real with our free-to-enter competition at power-predictions.com. All you got to do is get 6 or more right for an iPhone 13 or all 10, which is tough, but someone's going to do it this season, I'm sure, to fly you and a friend to the UK to take in an EPL game for real. How do we help you do that, I hear you ask? Well, quite simply, we've got two great legends standing by to give you their predictions to point you in the right direction. Ruddock and Gary Stevens are both on the way. Let's rattle through the fixture card then for Saturday's games. We'll be bringing you a special episode this week that concerns the Sunday and Monday match, but Leicester Arsenal, Burnley Brentford, Liverpool Brighton, City Palace, Newcastle Chelsea, Watford Southampton, and the game of the weekend make up Saturday's fixture card, Spurs against Manchester United. Couple of big bits of news this week that might have missed your radar. Brentford's keeper David Meyer out with a long-term injury. That's a big blow for them. And the question I want to ask Gary and Razor is, do they think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will still be at United if they lose at Spurs on Saturday? So why don't I ask them? Gary Stevens first. How you doing, Gaz?
Yeah, I'm super fit, healthy and well. Thank you, Patrick.
You're always looking super fit, healthy and well. You're the envy of us all, Mr. Stevens. Right, let's get straight down to business. Leicester against Arsenal. Great game this to kick off the weekend. Arsenal, let's face it, they're still not convincing anyone, but they've been on something of a revival. Won in the League Cup this week as well. Are they going to come away from the King Power with a result?
Well, I think it's hard to separate the two sides. You know, they are side by side in the league, 9th and 10th. They're both on 14 points. I can't do that. There will be goals. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Desmond, a 2-2 for Gary Stevens in the first game of the weekend. Predicting draws is very difficult to do, so I admire Gary Stevens for that. Statistically, draws are the hardest results to pick out. Now, interesting news breaking this week, Gary. The Brentford keeper, David Meyer, who's been winning loads of rave reviews, out for several months. Is that going to derail what's been an incredible start to Brentford's season in the Premier League?
Well, he has been exceptional. He's got a knee injury, and you're right, apparently he will be out for a number of months. They'll miss him. You know, Burnley are really, really struggling, still haven't managed to win a game all season. That said, they are dogged. I can't separate them. You just mentioned draws. I'm going to go for my second draw here, 1-1.
I'll tell you something, big on the X's is Mr. Stevens this week. Right, let's get to Anfield. Liverpool, who've been, quite frankly, sensational in the last couple of weeks. Brighton won their last season, though. What happens this season?
Well, I don't think Brighton will manage to win there, to be honest with you. I think Liverpool are a cut above the rest at the moment. They played 9 games. They've scored 27 goals. That's 3 a game.
Wow.
I think they'll score another 3. So I'm going to go for Liverpool to beat the Seagulls by 3-1.
And I know you're the very opposite of a lazy pundit. You do your research immaculately with your great work on Astro Supersport. But are you just going to copy and paste what you said there onto the next game for City against Palace?
Well, I think it'll be very close, to be honest with you. But having said that, I think that Manchester City will go one better than Liverpool in the goal-scoring stakes. I've got it in my head that City will beat Palace, who basically have been playing really well under Patrick Vieira, but they are the draw specialists. They would love a draw at City. They won't get it. City to win 4-1.
And let's rattle through the next couple, Gaz, because we've got to give people the scores, but I want to give you a bit of time on Spurs United, Newcastle Chelsea and Watford Southampton. Watford, the team of the moment after winning for the Goodison Park for the first time in their history last weekend.
Yeah, well, let's do the first one first. Newcastle to get beaten 3-0 by Chelsea, and I'm going to go for Watford to keep up the win record from last weekend. Watford to win 2-0 against Southampton.
Claudio Ranieri working his Tinkerman magic there. Now, Spurs against United. I want the score and a very quick analysis and the answer to this question. If United lose at Tottenham this weekend, is Ole a goner?
Not quite, but getting closer is the answer. They've got a Champions League game and then a game against Man City after that. If that goes badly as well, I think it is goodbye, Ole, I'm afraid to say. Manchester United were humiliated, showed no heart, no organisation. They'll have to bounce back somehow against Spurs. But Spurs are far from convincing. the only team in the Premier League so far not to draw a game. So guess what? I'm going to go for a draw. Spurs to draw 2-2 with Manchester United.
Another 2-2, 3 Saturday draws for Gary Stevens. Gaz, many thanks. You'll be joining us, I know, as well for a Sunday preview. But for now, we'll sign off from Mr. Gary Stevens and check out these Saturday predictions. Well, Gary Stevens goes 2-2 Leicester Arsenal. He's all awash with 2-2s this Saturday. 1-1 Burnley Brentford, 3-1 Liverpool Brighton, 4-1 City Palace, a 3-0 away win for Chelsea, a 2-0 home win for Watford, and that 2-2. A pair of Desmonds stuck in to Gary Stevens' Saturday preview. Right, we've heard from Gary. Now it's time to hear from Razor. So, of course, part of the fun of the Power Prediction Show is we put our two legends head-to-head. We've heard what Gary's had to say about Saturday's big matches. But what about Razor? Ruddock, first of all, Razor, last weekend was impossible. It was just a nightmare.
It weren't. If you're a Liverpool fan, it doesn't matter what the scores were. It don't matter in the world. What others... I mean, 0-5, I mean, that was... I bet someone in the world had a tenner on it. I bet there's some silly person thought... They was drunk. They've had a few too many. I'm going to 5-0 Liverpool.
I tell you what about doubling them all up? 5-0 there, 7-0 Chelsea, and arguably even more surprising than the Liverpool score was Watford beating Everton 5-2. That was harder to predict than the Liverpool score.
Well, I mean, if I got them free in a £10 trip, I wouldn't be sat here talking to you. I'll be in the studios with you. I'd have flown out to Singapore, wherever you are, and we'd have enjoyed ourselves.
Well, we look forward to seeing you, Razor, I'm sure. Well, listen, let's try and get these people an iPhone 13. You gave it your best shot last week. We'll get better, I'm sure. Saturday's games first. Leicester against Arsenal. Cracker to kick things off here. G. Stevens goes the old Desmond. 2-2.
Well, I haven't gone Desmond. I've got 2-1. I've got Desmond 1. Desmond 1 I've gone. Yeah, I think they're flying, Leicester. I just don't think Arsenal are right at the back. I think Leicester are too quick on the break. 2-1.
Burnley against Brentford. I mentioned this to Gary as well, but obviously Brentford's goalkeeper being out for months is a big blow for them because they're not going to have the same strength and depth as some of the other squads. Are they going to come unstruck? Because they've done well so far.
They've done well, but I think it's our place to go, Burnley. I think it's going to be a tough afternoon. Eyeballs is like for the Brentford defenders, put your crash helmets on because the ball's coming in high and hard. So it's going to be 1-0 Burnley.
Brighton pulled off a miracle last season. They won at Anfield. Gary says it ain't going to happen again. Do you agree, sir? Do you concur, Dr. Ruddock?
Yeah, baby. Come on, you Reds. I've only gone 2-0. I don't think they can keep this scoring. And I think, oh.
Oh, no, what's going on with it? We've lost Razor.
Go,
let's get him back.
Wait,
are you all right there, Razor?
Are you all right?
Every time we talk about Liverpool, you go bananas. Can we get you back?
Tap to speak. Where have we gone? What have I gone? What's happened?
We can hear you, Razor. We just can't see you. We just can't see you. Razor, are you okay there? Is everything back to normal?
Listen, everybody can relax. I'm good. I'm all good. I'm safe.
I thought there'd been an earthquake.
So did Harry Maguire last Sunday.
2-0, just to recap, 2-0 Liverpool Brighton. What about City against Palace? Can Patrick Vieira turn up here?
He can turn up as long as he wants, but he's going to get beat 3-1. I think their plan is. I think Liverpool and City are playing as the best two teams in the country. So I can't see Palace. I can see him nicking a goal, but I can't see him winning the game or getting a draw. 3-1 City.
Now, you had some great moves as a player, transfer-wise. Let me ask you this. With what's happening at Newcastle, as a player, if you could transport yourself into the current day, would going to Newcastle now be attractive for you? I know, obviously, the money's going to be astronomical, but as a project, would it excite you like Newcastle were exciting in the early 90s?
Oh, definitely. It's one of the greatest stadiums to play at. And, I mean, the Geordie people are tremendous, lovely people. They make you feel welcome. So, yeah, I can't see any problem. I can't see why... people say players only go to London or Manchester. It's a beautiful part of the world around. You don't have to live in the city centre. It's a beautiful part of the world to live. It's one of the best stadiums in the world, best atmosphere in the world. Why not?
Okay.
Plus, you're going to get big dollar.
Now you've drowned the Geordies in compliments. What's the score going to be? I'm assuming after that Glenn reference, you think they're going to beat Chelsea?
No, they're going to get beat 2-1.
So
I
think for Chelsea.
I think I think they're going to put good, great atmosphere. I mean, they just want to. The Geordies want to see the players trying. I just think at the moment they're playing quality teams. They're all coming together playing quality teams. So get through this next 2 or 3 weeks, then start winning games. I'm sure they'll be fine. But they're going to get beat 2-1.
Okay, 2-1 to Chelsea there. Watford, can they do it again after that incredible result last weekend as they entertain Southampton?
Yeah, 2-0. I can see this is a straight, easy home win, 2-0. Southampton, one of my ex-teams, but they seem to let goals in. They went 2-1 up last week and then let another easy goal in. So they conceded goals. Watford are on fire. Confidence flying. 2-0 Watford.
And we come, obviously, the last game on Saturday is probably the game of the weekend, isn't it? 2 managers under pressure. Ole arguably more so than that Nuno because he's not been there for very long. But nonetheless, 2 questions. Scoreline, Gary went for another Desmond 2-2. And second question is, if Man United lose this weekend, is that him finished, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
It depends how they lose. I think Tottenham going to win 3-1. I think Manchester United, they've gone. I think they've gone in their heads. They just don't want to be out there in the park. It's not happening for them. The players are absolutely gone as far as I'm concerned. It's going to be 3-1. And if it is 3-1, I can see that as Ollie's last game, yes.
Tell you what, that's going to be an exciting end to Saturday. Going to be game of the weekend, isn't it? Both teams struggling a little bit. Razor, many thanks. I know you're going to stay with us to give us Sunday's results in another episode, so many thanks. Razor Ruddock and all the drama that goes with him. Cameras, phones flying everywhere. Standing by. Cheers, Razor. Right, let's just recap what Razor's scores were then for all those games that are coming up on Saturday. And don't worry, we'll do another episode to get Razor's 2 picks for Sunday and Monday. Razor goes 2-1 Leicester, 1-0 Burnley, 2-0 Liverpool, 3-1 City, 2-1 away win for Chelsea at Newcastle, 2-0 Watford, and he goes for Spurs to maybe bring to an end Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reign at United. 3-1. Many thanks to both our legends who joined us on the Power Prediction Show right here in the Palace of Power. Gary Stevens and, of course, the irrepressible Neil Razor Ruddock. And don't forget, you can make your predictions at www.power-predictions.com for your chance to win an iPhone. Get all 10 and we'll fly. I tell you what, if you get all 10, we'll fly you to an EPL game for real, and we'll get Razor to sit next to you. That's how impossible I think it is, but someone out there could do it. We look forward to seeing you for the Sunday episode, which is coming up very shortly here on the Power Prediction Show. Stay safe.